cue?
I think that's your
us.
cue.
Look at us. We're in a new space.
What is up? What is up, everybody? Money Mondays coming to you live from now Naples, Florida. It's that time of year. It's time to make the shift. And you know what? I have a massive complaint to kick this off today. And so today is Monday, October 17th, lines up with October 15th, which is official tax filing deadline. For all of you who've waited to the absolute
Cheers.
bitter end, I have my Boston cup too today. So cheers,
Erica,
cheers. Got my Boston cup. Thanks to Erica, Dustin. Also, it's a Boston Hukin cup. It's a Buchan
cup.
It's a Buchan cup.
Thank you, Buchans.
Love the Buchans. But I had a complaint because this is one of the days it's hard to stay like super pumped up about your money when you get to file that tax return.
Oh,
and
James, you better do a lot more of those.
you don't. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you didn't have to write a big check. We still had to write a big check. We got to get this under control.
We wrote a lot of big.
We're gonna get this under control, man. But that's what today is. Also, besides that, we're still getting all of this information streaming in that we are not totally out of the woods yet on this, on this economy. Joe Biden's eating ice cream. I think I should get a little more raw.
And we're drinking
I think
vodka.
we should just get a little more raw about what's going on in the world. If the president of the United States eating ice cream and he's confused about whether or not things are getting difficult or not. I saw this morning when we were working out, I was trying to get your attention. 80% of people are saying that now the economy is affecting their ability to just live their normal basic lifestyle. 80% of the world, the United States, is now saying 80% of the United States, 80% of people are now affected as far as their normal standard of living is concerned by the economy. I don't know how long you're going to sit on the sidelines and continue to wait and wonder. Listen, it's coming for you too. I'm not saying like it's coming for you, because thankfully I think that, most of our viewers, you do exceptionally well. And so high five, you're to be celebrated, but it's coming for your clients. And then what happens is, by extension, if your clients are affected, then it begins to affect you.
I just have to say, because I had a conversation with one of our clients today, and she was being really honest with me. She said, I'm really struggling. I'm in a bad place, and I'm having a negative mindset. I feel like I'm being impacted by what's happening in the economy. And for a long time, I felt like I wasn't being impacted, that it wasn't impacting my clients. But now she goes, I feel like it is. And the last 2 weeks have been really slow. And I said, okay, well, let's unpack that. Tell me why you think that you've been impacted, why your clients are. Are they actually utilizing the languaging, I can't afford your services? And she said, they're not. I said, so you have to be really careful, because we do talk about this a lot and things are impacting people, and 80% of people are impacted, but you still have to remember that people will pay for what they value.
Right.
And so it does not matter if 80% of people are being impacted in the world by the economy. If they value your service and you can continue to provide value, people will find a way to pay for you. And so I want people to remember that, because I think sometimes we can get a little bit discouraged. We can convince ourselves that there's evidence all around us that people can't afford our care or our services or the thing that we provide. But remember, people out there will figure out how to buy a TV or pay for their kids' sports or whatever it may be. They can also figure out how to pay for their health. They can also figure out to pay for your services that will better their life if they understand what that value is. So we're coming here to arm you. We are coming here we are giving you information. We're coming here to encourage you and empower you. But listen, even if people are being impacted, they'll still pay for you. That's all I got.
All right. Down off the soapbox there. All right, everybody. Hey, let's. You guys know what to do. First of all, let's make sure, if you're new to Money Mondays, that you hit that like button, that you hit the follow button, subscribe,
share,
and you also share. Let's get this group popping. Today we are reset. We're doing $300. Lacey and I are giving away $300 tonight. We're drawing 3 names.
Last week, don't forget, we gave away $1,000.
Yeah, just so here's how it works, my friends. Here's how it works. Last week we gave away $1,000. We start the pot back at 300. We're going to draw 3 names. If there are no winners, so there'll be 3 winners, but you must be present. You must be present in order to claim your prize. So if we draw your name and you're not here on with us live, you technically lost $300. if we don't have a winner tonight, so we're going to draw 3 names. If none of the 3 people are actually present with us live, then we're going to add $100. And next week, we're going to draw 4 names and we're going to raise the pot to $400. If nobody wins, we'll go 5 names at 500. The highest that we've gotten here on Money Mondays was $1,000. Last week, we had a $1,000 winner. Look, we're not just helping you to build your business. We're not providing you just with great advice. We're giving away free money because it's Money Mondays. So, I mean, if you are into money, you need to tell your friends and you need to be here. Set a reminder every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Listen, and what we're teaching you is to do exactly what we do. And when I say to do what we do, I mean that we have Black Diamond Club Marketing Matters coming up November 3rd and 4th. Shawn, why are you telling us that it's completely sold out? Well,
Completely.
I mean, and we're talking, you see some of these events and they got like 30 people in this, tiny old auditorium or the Holiday Inn, and they're like touting it as sold out. This is completely
like shoulder sold
packed.
out.
Fire Marshal sold out. This is a problem for the Fontainebleau. And we have no tickets to sell you. The reason why I'm telling you that is because, look, so many people, you watch our content, consume our content, you follow Lacey on Instagram, but you're not decisive, and then you miss out. And you're like, man, you're going to see pictures and videos all over social media coming up November 3rd and 4th, and you're just missing out. We've got some amazing, amazing, amazing special guests dropping in, which we, by the way, never publicize because we never have to leverage our special guests in order to sell out. Go figure. There's so many of these groups that all the people are there just for the special guests and they're missing the content. Our group comes to hear the content, and the special guests are just absolute bonuses. It's going to be absolutely amazing. The following weekend, Lacey and I are going to be in New York City for UFC 281. We just want to shout out Michael Chandler, our business partner. We love you and are praying for your absolute success right now during training camp, and especially on fight night. We pray for your safety and for your opponent's safety as well. Please don't kill the man.
No, and after that, I hope that he gets some Chipotle.
Well, he's probably going to get a little more in Chipotle. I think he saw your little nickel and nickel wine collection, and he was like, after the fight, my man. I was like, I'll try and get Lacey to save a little bit for you. Then we also have December to Remember coming up. Once again, listen, we're talking about December. It is October, folks. Our December to Remember event, where Lacey and I are going to take 10 of you and walk you through the exact process that Lacey and I utilized, our plus minus, our plus delta system, to figure out what it is that we're going to do next year. And maybe more importantly, what it is we're going to drop. What are the things we did this year that we are committed to eliminating from next year's agenda? And also, what are the new things that we're going to bring on? And we're going to talk about how we make that decision. And we're going to walk 10 people through that completely sold out. Again, that was sold out like a week after we put it out there.
And don't just like brush over the fact that we're going to have an amazing experience.
Okay, we're going to play some golf. We're going to do spa. We're going to take wine dinner. We're going to have a wine dinner, wine pairings. It's going to be
about the whole experience component of it.
Well, you gotta get on. You gotta get on this stuff. Here's what happens though. I always complain to my team. I say, guys, here's the problem. None of the people on YouTube know about the cool stuff that we do until it's too late because it's always sold out. And I see all these other people that are marketing their event because they're scratching and clawing trying to fill it up. So they literally market every day. And like, we don't even get a fair shake at it because we can't marketing matters because it's sold out. But then people don't know that we're doing cool stuff. I get those messages like, oh, how come I never knew about this? Because when we said it the 3 times, people bought it and it was sold out. That's why you don't know about December to Remember. That's why we're telling you about it today, because you might have missed out. You might have been like, what are you talking about December to Remember? I want to play golf and go to the spa with Lacey, drink wine and have a great dinner with these guys. Gotta pay attention.
But listen, if you like all of the sound effects this evening, they are brought to you by our very own James Lewis. So give him a shout out because he is the man that's always behind the camera and tonight behind the sound effects. So
good job,
thank
James.
You, James. All right, let's get
James
started.
Flying out with us to Las Vegas this week.
I know. Oh yeah, we're going to Las Vegas.
We're going to see James on Thursday. I'm going to be taping Office Hours with David Meltzer on Thursday. You are going to be taping Office Hours with David Meltzer on Friday.
And you're doing your masterclass on Friday.
And don't forget,
a very special.
We're doing the masterclass
Las Vegas
live from Las Vegas. We're going to be teaching everybody how to create and sell their $25,000 offer. If you're in the masterclass, we got the Telegram channel rocking. We got all the stuff going on. It is going to be phenomenal. And I will be joining you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. That's going to be a super cool treat. Make sure that you are there with us. We've got so much stuff going on. And listen, one of the other things I think is super important, Tristan posted an email today. He was at a wedding over the weekend and he was thinking about sponsorships. I don't know why we didn't have somebody sponsor our wedding. I mean, what a goof. Mess that up. I could have had like
about?
I could have had patches on my
No.
tuxedo. I could have had a little something like, I don't know. We could have had like high level on my arm.
This is a horrible
Keep.
idea.
I could have had
No.
Keep. I could have had QuickBooks. I could have had sponsors for sure.
Anyway, moving on. I think
Well, tonight's sponsor
we have a
of
great
Money
sponsor
Matters. We have a
tonight.
great
We did a
sponsor
great
for
job,
Money
yeah.
Money Mondays. We also this sponsor is also collaborating with us on the None of Your Business podcast. We have a lot of stuff that we're getting out to a lot of people, and so now we're getting people that are like, "Hey, I want to collaborate with you," which is great. Tonight's sponsor is Chirothin, and we have Dr. Jason Strohide with us to talk to you guys about why he's a sponsor and what he's got going on. I want to start with this though. Tonight's episode, we are talking specifically about personal brand.
Yes.
I have said since the beginning of this process that, look, when the economy gets tight, personal brand gets more important. The reason why, and people are like, that's not true. It is true. What happens is that when money flows and money's flowing, people aren't as deliberate about where they spend their money. Like, we want to, hey, do you want to try a nutritional IV? Yeah, sure. What is it? It's like vitamins in a bag. People just are like, yeah, whatever. But when money is tighter, it's not that it's a bad idea. You were talking about this. There's value there. But they're going to look at, okay, of the options, before I just throw my money at
What
this.
do I consider my highest value?
But also, what do people charge?
Right.
What are other people charging for what I perceive to be the same thing? And maybe more importantly, because there might be people that charge less, but what is their reputation? Have I heard of this? Like, hey, come to Lacey's nutritional IV shop, or I don't know, it was Well Infused, and I was like, well, I've heard of Well Infused, never heard of Lacey's nutritional IV shop. And Lacey's nutritional IV shop might be cheaper, but look, let me go with Well Infused, because here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to go to Lacey's IV shop. They miss my veins 4 times. I go home, or maybe I get an IV and it wasn't mixed right. I cannot afford to take chances with my health. Listen to me. I cannot afford to take chances with my health. So I'm going to make decisions based off what? Personal brand. I want to bring in Jason Strohide. Can we get him in here, James? We ran all the little curtains. There he is.
Hey.
Hi, Jason.
They call him
Hello.
Dr.
I love the idea of the wedding sponsor. I was just reviewing wedding proposals for our daughter and her fiance. I just got the first one in the email today. I definitely need a sponsor for the wedding.
If anybody wants to sponsor Dr. J's daughter's wedding, post it in the comments.
Sponsorship applications now, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Doc J, talk to us a little bit about personal brand. I know that we're here to talk about Chirothin. I definitely want to get to that, but
Sure.
You've had so much contact with so many chiropractors, healthcare providers. One of the things too, just by the way, I'm sorry, Jason, just a little tangent, because we talked about this on a previous episode previously.
Okay.
Well, one of the things that we talked about is during a downturn, an economic downturn, right? The lipstick, we see the uptick in lipstick.
Right.
We see a downturn in sort of more of the heavier procedures, breast augmentations, heavy plastic surgery, as the community goes more towards makeup. Makeup begins to thrive.
Lipstick index.
The lipstick
Right,
index.
that's what they called it.
I gotta tell you one other thing. So in a down economy, vanity still survives,
Right.
but we just don't have a lot of money to, you're not going and getting liposuction. So what is really, really smart here is that weight loss. One way that you can not get liposuction, you can just work.
Yeah, work. I'm
Eat less, work,
lose
your weight.
How to live a lifestyle instead of go for a very expensive quick fix.
But I got to tell you something. So many providers don't really put this together,
right?
And that is something for you to strongly consider. So sorry about that, Jason.
It's all good.
Tell us what you've seen personal brand wise. I mean, with the people that you work with, are there any sort of common traits or common denominators that you have found with those that maybe amplify their personal brand, leverage social media, maybe do better than those who kind of are like, hey, I bought the program, where's my money?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having me on this evening. I appreciate it. At the end of the day, the personal brand is really what sets things apart. And I think the biggest challenge that most people have is really a term called naive realism. And Lacey, it kind of parlays into what you were talking about with your client, and that is that we all like to think that we view basically the world objectively, and we don't, right? So really, when a person develops a personal brand, what we see is the doctors, our clients that do the best, that have whatever degree of success they want and they reach for it, is one, they follow protocols, they follow systems, but two, really what we've identified and what they've basically agreed with or signed on to is that today's consumer, especially in a downturn of the economy, they're not necessarily looking for just like a one-off treatment that might work. Really, what they're looking for is a solution. And there's a big difference between buying a product or a procedure and buying a solution. And then they also understand that they can convey this message. They know that it works. They convey the message in a way that's succinct, that resonates with the public. And it's really about who they want to become, whether it's a chiropractor bringing in weight loss to help with the chiropractic side of things, or if they're actually looking for a side hustle that turns into a full hustle, or they're using it to fill their practice with chiropractic patients. But that personal brand is, to me, is really like who you are, who you want to be within your community. For most chiropractors within the community, we have a large number of chiropractors that are starting to do virtual patient management. It's a big segment that's up and coming. But it really is identify who you are, who you want to be true to that, and let that message drive you. And you have to put it out there. And that naive realism is a term that I think a lot of people really don't hear. But really, what it is we all like to think that we view the world objectively, and almost none of us do, right? And what winds up happening is when you tell somebody who's not a big fan of being on camera, or they're afraid that maybe who they really want to be as a provider or practitioner maybe is going to get them kicked out of certain clubs within the chiropractic profession, or they're afraid that maybe some of their community or some of their friends may not like them, that creates fear, right? And that fear causes excuse me, that fear causes a larger concern, or you view a problem as bigger. And then as that problem gets bigger in your own head, not in reality, but in your own head, it almost turns into an anxiety. And the bigger that fear, it actually starts to become perceived psychologically as a larger threat to your livelihood. So your patient, or your client Lacey that was talking earlier about, it's down, that was naive realism at its finest. But I really think at its core, that naive realism is what creates, or what prevents most people from really just developing that personal brand of who they want to do. It's the, well, gosh, if I do that, or if I say this, or if I wear a shirt with skull and crossbones on it on Money Mondays, a certain percentage of the population may not like that. And that creates this fear. At the end of the day, 50% of people are going to love you. 50% of people are going to hate you. It doesn't matter what it says. So be true to yourself, be passionate about what it is that you do, and that will convey in every piece of content, every message, everything that you do, that will come across. And just know that people are looking for solutions, and identify, in my opinion, be that solution-based provider in your community or in your space. That's where I think the rubber meets the road with personal brand.
Love it. Absolutely love it. We're seeing comments already coming in. You have a couple of fans who have been on the program posting outrageous, 50 pounds gone. Outrageous. You lose 50 pounds on this program.
Yeah.
I want to dive into that, because it's called Chiro Thin.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you lose weight getting adjusted. What exactly is this program? You got something magical. Tell us what's so magical about it. How are you getting this kind of results?
Well, it's not magic, it's science. So that's one of the things that we do, is everything is science-based, right? So I would say it's not Dr. Jason's magical elixir. Although I think that would be a good name, but the branding people said, no, we're not naming it Dr. Jason's magical elixir. So Chiro, obviously chiropractic. I am a chiropractor, right? Second generation, sixth one in my family. We got 9 now. I sold my practices back in 2016, started this company in 2010. And it was growing and growing. And I got to the point where I'm like, I really feel that I could really take Chirothin, its results, and help more chiropractors, help more people to the next level if I could allocate all of my units of attention to it. So I made the decision to sell my practices, and I had multiple practices around the St. Louis area. So long story short, low glycemic index, anti-inflammatory foods, the right ratios, the right blends, the right amounts, combined with, we have a proprietary homeopathic supplement. It's not HCG. There's no stimulants in it. But basically what it's designed to do is help lock the metabolism in, keep it running higher, allows the body to tap fat. It keeps them from going into starvation mode. And over the course of, 12 years and over 300,000 patients have gone through it through chiropractic offices. It's gotten so streamlined that it's really a protocol. And it is truly a plug and play. One of my passions, it's really kind of weird, in addition to being like a research nerd, I actually love the study of system dynamics, right? So system dynamics is how things operate. And I'm a firm believer that the fewer steps that there are, actually the less likely it is for that system to fail, right? So what we do is we take everything down to its simplest element without sacrificing effectiveness, because the easier it is for the patient, the easier it is for them to stay on. They also have, Michelle, 90 down. Nice. That's freaking awesome. We have studies that back it up. At this point, it's kind of not a, if it works. Basically what I could tell to people is this: if you follow the protocol works. We, back in 2018, 2019, we had a 573 participant retrospective analysis. Patients were selected blindly, so we know the results. So it really, at this point, is, if the person follows the protocol, average female is going to lose about 23 to 25 pounds in 6 weeks. Average man's going to lose 30. That's what that study showed. And then it's all based upon real food, no shakes, no bars. And at the end of the day, we give them what I call real world maintenance guidelines, so that people can actually, if they follow it, they're going to have a higher probability of keeping that weight off. And then we kind of parlayed that mindset into some other kind of a new key thrust, key initiative that I personally have for my company moving forward, and for the end of 2022 and into 2023 and beyond.
Look, I got to tell you, because we're talking about personal brand. James is having fun on the sound effects tonight.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in a club in Cancun.
So, but we're talking about personal brand, and I know that it's Chirothin, and a lot of chiropractors take this program, they put it into their practices, and they help their patients. But for me, as a coach, I can't tell you how many clients that have actually gone, that we talk to, that are chiropractors that have gone through the program themselves. You're seeing the results popping up here tonight. And when we're talking about personal brand, people that go through this and lose, 60 pounds, 40 pounds, 80 pounds skip posted, 80 pounds lost. Like, the reality is that when you feel comfortable in your own skin, look, whatever that feels like and looks like for you, that could be any weight, that can be any way. But when you feel comfortable in your own skin, it's so much easier to go out there and promote yourself and be confident in your personal brand and step into who you are. And so I think that there's also some importance to that, right? Like of blending what all of these people are doing and elevating themselves and getting themselves out there. So I love that it's not just for chiropractic patients, but for chiropractors too.
No, absolutely. And it's being congruent, right? It's like everybody's idea of where they want to be is different. Be the best version of you that you can. Like I said, 50% of people are going to love you, 50% are going to hate you. It doesn't matter who you are, what you say, what you do.
Absolutely. We have a link running up there. Jason, can you tell us a little more if there are chiropractors in the audience that want to jump on board? What are we offering them?
Basically, you're going to go to, I think it's bit.ly/Chirothin money. And basically what that is, it is where you go. First of all, we only offer our products to chiropractors. So we do have to actually vet that you're a chiropractor. We do that through the FCLB. It's not one of those make-believe. We actually make sure you're a chiropractor. And then the sales team, to be honest with you, we have internal sales team. They've been talking with our VP of operations, Susan. And I'm not going to lie, Shawn and Lacey, and I'm really embarrassed. I forgot to ask what the special offer was, but I know there's a special deal.
Sure.
So I
Super special
I
deal.
totally apologize. I heard you say that, Shawn, and I went, oh crap. So
Not a
I
problem.
Somebody
apologize.
point
Promise
it
you.
out.
Here's
I
what we
love
can
it.
promise you. There's going to be something super special on the other side
There
of
will
that
be.
link. Make sure that you check it out. Jason, thank you for jumping on with us. I
Yep.
hope that we'll see you around at some of our events soon.
100%.
And we'll keep telling people about Cairo
We're
things.
excited.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right. Here's what's up. We're giving away $300 tonight. You just got to hang in there for just
James
a
is
couple
giving
more
it away.
minutes. Broncos are currently up 10-0. Who would have thunk it? Old Russell
And
Wilson
we already figured out
rocking
as
it
of
there.
last week that people are actually, they have football on in the background. So that's good. That's
Oh,
fine.
well, I'm
That's
just
fine.
updating them. If you got Russell Wilson in fantasy football league, you probably got 6 points and 6.5 points. You're gonna need a little more than that. All right, personal brand. What you got for us? What do you got going on? What's going on?
First
What
off,
do you have
like
going
we
on?
have a couple
You've
of
been on a
things.
roll. You've been on your soapbox. Let me just step off the screen here for a second and get a drink of water.
That's not nice.
It
Is the
nice.
soapbox a good thing or a bad
Yes.
thing? You decide, viewers. Is that good or bad? I don't know.
You don't want it to. What do you want it to be? Good or
I
bad?
want it. I mean, I
It's
don't know.
good.
Let's find out what the viewers
You've been
think
getting all
first.
fired up, and you've been like dropping bombs. James is getting all excited, pressing
James
all
getting
the buttons
excited
over there. Tell him
Wait,
how smart you
wait.
are.
I thought that we
Tell
were
him what
gonna,
you
I thought we
know.
were going to talk about a couple things happening in the economy.
Yeah, I forgot
though.
about that stuff.
Like this is Money Monday, so I thought we were going to talk about the economy. So
Yeah, that's
number
great.
one of the
I'm
things that
still mad about taxes, so you go.
I mean,
You
we're
do it.
both mad about taxes.
Well, you do your thing.
Listen, and you guys know that I've worked on my money mindset for a really long time, and I always come from a place, really try to come from a place of abundance and being happy about writing my checks to the IRS. But sometimes they're just so big that you drink vodka or wine.
Everybody loves your soapboxes.
You guys like my soapboxes.
What's going on with
Okay,
the ABCs?
So listen, so here's what we figured out. This is what's happening this week. So like 3 key things keep coming up in the news. We're seeing people talk about it. Number one, and you're a little bit more versed in this than I am, but the core CPI has seen the biggest increase since August 1982. We were talking about this before we actually came on to start recording because that's been 40 years. I mean, that's insane.
Well, cost of goods higher than it's been in 40 years. I'm actually sick and tired of people like trying to like blame other things for it. Listen, it's just the economy. Sooner you guys start to understand it's just real. Things cost more. And as things cost more, I got put on blast by Mr. TikTok expert, that's expert to the middle class. This has got to tell you, like, he's like saying, well, what if their toilet overflows? So, yeah, your toilet overflows, you're going to cause them. You're going to leave the toilet overflow water on the floor. But there's still, that doesn't mean they're going to go and get massages or facials or microdermabrasion or chiropractic care, or physical therapy and rehab or infrared sauna or cryotherapy. Pay for what's
necessary.
Yeah, it was dumb. But see, here's the thing: is that what's necessary is costing more than it has in 40 years, and that is not because there's a war. I will tell you this too. I saw a great take on this. Look. One good thing about all of this down economy is that a down economy and inflation mitigates the possibilities of World War III. I'll tell you that because even these countries in Europe, no money to fund it, and they can't be launching nukes around at people when their economy can barely survive. It would be a death blow to a lot of countries, and so that's one good thing. There's always a positive in all of the negative, and so if economies were booming, money was flowing everywhere, we could just be firing off nukes all over the place, firing missiles, sending troops, but we just don't have that ability. And we're supposed to be the richest country in the world. And so that's one good thing that comes out of that.
All right. Well, let's talk about the housing market.
Housing market.
We are currently right now in the middle of an offer on a home.
And some ding-dong realtor tried to tell us that the market was still good. Well, of course, they represent the sellers, right? So the other realtors like, dude, the market's fine. Like, the market's not fine.
The market is not fine. There's indication everywhere that the market is slowing down, that housing prices are dropping. Maybe you're not seeing it right now on the listings.
I'm seeing it right now on the listings.
Yeah, the reality of it is that I think it's on Thursday, we're going to actually get the housing report for sales from what happened in September.
Slow down.
They estimate that it's going to have dropped, I think, 25% for, what is it, $4.7 million annually. So here's the problem. So some of you are like, great. So the housing market is slowed down. Also, they're seeing a slowdown in requests for building permits, which means that people are not building as much, which means builders are going to have an issue, which means actually we'll have supplies again, which is kind of nice. But the reality of it is people can no longer afford what they were affording before because the prices were so high. And then you want to know what the culprit was? We've talked about it forever. What's the culprit? The rate hike.
Interest rates.
Yeah.
But here's what happens. So it's the same thing that's happening.
Than they were last year.
So the middle class is being squeezed out. So the amount of house that they can afford is going down. And so the people that are putting these exorbitantly priced homes on the market, they're like, hey, the market's fine. But their buyer pool has like shrunk tremendously because this whole middle class that they're getting their toilets fixed, but they're not buying these expensive homes. And so that's causing then a slowdown, especially in the upper portions of the real estate market. Now the lower portions are actually probably going to speed up. See, but it takes 10 $100,000 homes to sell 10 of those to make $1 million home, as far as tacking these onto the reports. But you're going to see the cheaper homes accelerate through because people are moving down market, and then also smart money is coming in down market, buying down market for rentals. But what's happening is that mid-market and the upper mid-market and the upper market, they're getting squeezed just at different levels. But here's the problem is that squeeze has a lot of financial institutions very, very concerned because, I mean, when you're paying more for eggs and you're paying more for clothes and groceries and beef and gasoline, then one of the things that starts to get into jeopardy, and I've said there's a clip of me saying this, then I might have to question, should I pay for all of these things, eat, or can I let my mortgage slip?
Yes. So this is really interesting. So before we go there, the reality of it is again, I think that the housing market hasn't quite caught up to the interest rates, right? And so if we're looking at the current mortgage rates, they're sitting at about 7%, which again is double from last year.
But it's still low.
Yeah, it's still low. It's still low, but it's still double from last year. But the problem is that the housing prices went so high and went so ridiculous that now this interest rate of 7% is why people can't afford those homes that they once could afford. So now that means that the price of homes has to drop, and it's starting to catch up. We're going to see that very, very shortly.
One of the comments that
go ahead.
One of the comments I made today earlier too is, listen, there's no definitive answer on this, but they're talking about the housing market might be propped up currently by about 30 to 70%. So let's just for the sake of argument, let's call it 60%. Just because I want to illustrate this, a 60% slough off in the housing market is equivalent to Bitcoin going from 60,000 to 20. Now, what did that do to the crypto market? I mean, just absolutely devastated it. Absolutely devastated that market. And of course, people, when it was at 60, Bitcoin was the best thing. It was going to the moon. Now, where are all of these crypto experts? Like they're super quiet. You don't see that hardly at all. Because in the same thing, listen to me very carefully. The same thing's happening in real estate. You got all these people, dude, I'm the real estate guru. I'm killing it in real estate. 9.8 million doors. I've been building all of this. I'm doing all this stuff. Listen, if the real estate market takes a 60% hit, if it takes a 60% hit, we will not be hearing anything from the real estate gurus, even though they're ones that right now they're going to put in the comments, you hear from me because I'm killing it. Yeah, the same thing. I knew the crypto guys. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, now it's 19. It's gone down by 60%. Where are you now? You're sitting at 19,000. Remember when it was at 60? Remember how you were worth $8 billion? Well, now you're not, right? You just, your net worth fell apart. Same thing can happen in real estate. Just cautionary tale, because that's real. That is real. It's not doom and gloom. It's real of what can happen and what most experts are actually predicting.
People are talking, they're saying right now they haven't heard about crypto in months. That's what they're putting in the chat. It's entirely true. Even if you think about social media, remember people would come on your social media posts like Instagram and Facebook, and they'd be like check out how much I earned in crypto, and you were getting hacked and they were talking about crypto. Nothing. Silence. Crickets. Right. And so
just for the peanut gallery, real estate will be back.
Well,
it's not the end of it.
we talked about
Buy
that.
low,
You could be
sell
upside
high.
down for maybe a year
You're
or
gonna be
two,
fine.
but you'll be fine if you
Crypto
wait
too.
it out.
Let's be really clear.
Yeah.
Crypto too. If you're holding crypto, if you're any of these things, a lot of these companies got upside down. It's temporary.
If you can play the waiting game,
But
you'll win.
what I'm
Yeah.
speaking to is that, people saying the crypto market's not down. Yes, it is. The real estate market's not down. Yes, it is. It's just right there, right before, right. Crypto was at, when Bitcoin was at 60. That's where we're at with the real estate. We're at a peak, but we can't get those peak prices because interest rates are too high. People can't afford to buy at the peak. Now the real estate market is correcting to accommodate that. It will continue to correct, and I would anticipate the majority of you, probably whatever your home is worth today, your real estate holdings, probably can anticipate sloughing off about a third, about 30%.
Yeah, but wait it out. You'll be just fine. So this is really interesting because we're talking about the housing market, and one of the things that everybody's talking about this week is that the big banks, the financial institutions, they're bracing for impact. They're literally starting to put away money in anticipation that people are going to default on their mortgage loans. Bank of America just recently put away like what's my number? $378 million. $378 million, which is equivalent to like what Citibank did, what Wells Fargo did, because they are putting away money in anticipation that people are going to default on their loans because of everything that's happening in the economy. So the financial institutions are bracing for impact. Again, we have been saying it forever. All of the powers that be, except the one that has to announce it, is in the understanding that we are in a recession, that people are being impacted, that their pockets are being impacted, that they have to make hard choices, that they're making financial decisions, and that the cost of goods are extremely high and it's impacting people's ability to pay for their cost of living.
Well, I just hope that our YouTube viewers
Mm.
are understanding that we're in a recession and that you're adapting your business. That's what this program is all about.
But again, if you really are working on creating high level experience and increasing that value, you can help people make the decision to stick with you or purchase your service. So make sure that you are extremely obsessed with that. Personal brand. We're talking about personal branding. So I love that Jason was on here. I think that one of the things I was thinking about, like personal brand, and we've talked about this in the past, but we're just going to continue to talk about it because we think that this is something that's important and integral to your ability to grow as a business owner and to create other avenues of income or to drive more income and revenue to your current business. Personal brand is highly important when you're trying to do that. Like I was thinking about one of the things I was reading about personal branding, and they were talking about like you look at Apple, and even though Apple is such a large, amazing company, what do you think of when you think of Apple? You still think of Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that means that Steve Jobs created a phenomenal personal brand that separated himself and became very distinct from one of the largest companies in the world. When you think about Tesla, who do you think about?
Elon Musk.
Everybody thinks Elon Musk because his personal brand is so strong. So you can have a company that is that large, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, like you can have companies that are that large and still create a personal brand. So you can do that with your company as well. I talk to so many clients and they're like, I don't know, like my business though has such a strong brand. I don't know how to separate myself out. Well, if Steve Jobs can do it from Apple, if Jeff can do it from Amazon, if Elon can do it from Tesla, like you can do it from your company. You just have to start now, right?
Well, I think it kind of falls into that same category. We did a ton of work with our clients on unique selling proposition. Most people get that completely wrong because they're like, well, what's your USP? And then they say something like, I'm a pediatric chiropractor in Green Bay. I'm like, yeah, but there's lots of those. You got Skip Weiss out there. You got that's not unique. And then they missed the unique part, personal brand. They missed the brand part.
Right.
Personal brand is not just like, I've got a black shirt and a tan. Like that's not, it's a lot of things that form the brand. Right. And, when I say Steve Jobs, you're like, oh yeah, the black turtleneck. Is that it? That's it? That was it? Just everybody with the black turtleneck, they were Steve Jobs. Like, no. There's so much that goes into that. And then what I think that people really miss is that those key elements that go into your personal brand, your brand, convey trust into your ideal client. Like They want to go to somebody who is successful. They want to go to somebody who is knowledgeable. They want to go to somebody who is
It's
liked.
results.
They want to go to someone who gets results. They want to go to somebody that collaborates, that is recognized in their community, things like that. So you need to think about like, okay, so what is my brand? And then how do I convey and communicate that on a consistent basis through all forms of media? So that means it's on my social media. It shows up, if I'm in a networking group, I would always show up wherever I am representing this brand. That's why people remember things like Steve Jobs' black turtleneck, or Mark Zuckerberg and the black shirt, the t-shirts, right? Gary V and the t-shirts and the gesture, because it's just consistent, right? And so you have to think about, okay, so I need to pick not just random things like I'm the Asian chiropractor. Like this, there's a bunch of Asian chiropractors. It's not a brand. What are the things that I'm trying to brand across? And you and I talk about this a lot. On my cup, it has the Shawn S, which also happens to be the specific S. But people always recognize us too through the branding as Shawn and Lacey. It's very difficult for me to show up and not have somebody. I go to things like board meetings where why would you even be there? And people are like, "Where's Lacey?" Because it just becomes natural. Like they're like, "Well, where's Lacey?" Like, you guys are always together. You're always doing things together. It becomes part of the brand. It strengthens my brand more than it strengthens yours. Probably hurts your brand, but it works out, right? And so you think about those things because that becomes the delineator. Some people choose to work with me because I am married to you. Some people choose to work with me because of the way I dress, or the things that we participate in, or the people that we know. But those are all of those things are part of our personal brand.
And as I know that we have 3 names to draw, so we're going to have James do it all at the very end, but I want to give you like one massive action item because I think this is important. That you just touched on it. You just touched on it slightly. One of the things that I was reading about personal branding, it was a while ago, and I thought it was super interesting because we always think about creating like a content strategy plan. Like, like we talk about marketing, like when you're marketing your current business, or even you're marketing yourself, you're like, what's my content strategy going to be? Like, what am I going to put on social media? What am I going to post? What kinds of things do I want to put out there? And I talk about that all the time because I'm a systems person. But one of the things I read when it came to personal brand, they said create a visibility strategy. And I was like, oh, that's really good, because visibility is just like getting yourself out there. So the very first thing is that when you are deciding on your personal brand, number one, you need to show up like authentically. So you have to do something when it comes to your personal brand, because it's not your business, that actually is something that you're passionate about, that's aligned with your skills, that has to do with like literally like your interests, like whatever it may be. Make sure that you're super authentic when you're showing up with your personal brand. If you can't figure that out, pro tip, like share your creation story with the closest people around you. I bet they'll figure out what your passion is.
Well, creation story, but that's
another day.
way beyond money.
That's a different day. So anyway, so make sure that you do that. And then once you kind of figure that out, figure out how that passion, that skill, that interest, how it actually could serve others, because then you can see the solution that you could provide to people. As soon as you figure that out, you've got your personal brand on lock. And now you just need to create the visibility strategy. How do you get more visibility to you as an individual to separate yourself from your business? So that may be big podcasts, that might be blogs, that might be guest interviews, that might be showing up in places at your community. Whatever it may be, you need to create a visibility strategy to get your personal brand out there. If you can do that, you can simultaneously be working on your business, growing your business, and then launching your personal brand and feeding both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got tonight.
Do it.
So many soapboxes.
I love it. Let's give away some money.
All right. Jamesy, since James has the, what do you call it?
The canasta.
Since James has the canasta, James is
The
going to be picking the names and calling the names tonight,
okay,
because
that's
we
cool.
don't
So
get to see
again,
them. So,
all right.
I mean, I don't know how we would do that.
That's cool.
It's
That's
all in
true.
my
We can't do it.
All right. 3 names tonight for $300. The last time I was in this seat, I gave away money. We had a winner, so hopefully we can repeat tonight. So, all
Do it,
right, here we
Jimmy.
go. We're doing 3 names. I'm gonna draw them all at the same time, and then we'll call them out.
Give us your best radio voice.
Well, he already did. He has a radio.
I know
voice.
it's natural,
Everybody.
but he can amplify it. He can like make it
I
better.
know. I don't even try.
Why don't you
Hopefully
call
we'll
the
say-
names out? Why don't you call the names out as Barack Obama?
Yeah.
Barack? All right, let's see if I can do this. All right, you guys ready? Somebody said pick an Eagles fan. I would love to pick an Eagles fan.
Yeah,
We're looking pretty
James,
good tonight.
yeah, one of my clients.
Dr. Paula Ruffin said, "Tuck me to sleep, James. Put me to
one of my clients, Glenn Jaffe. He's actually going out to the Eagles versus Colts game. Do you have tickets to that?
I plan on getting tickets to that game. Yes, they'll be
All right.
here in Indy the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So I definitely plan to go there. I guess I got to reach out to Glenn.
Glenn Jaffe. Yeah.
There
Hey,
you
give
go.
us Barack announcing the winners.
So we are gathered here this evening on Money Mondays, and I have the pleasure of announcing 3 winners for tonight's raffle. Name number 1 is Eric Barnhart. Eric, if you are here tonight, you must let me know that you are in attendance, and we will get you your $300. But right now, I need to put this timer.
I got
Or
it,
else-
James. I got it.
You got the timer? Oh,
Because
you got the
forgot.
timer going.
Barack, you forgot.
All right.
You got the timer.
I can play the music. I can play the music.
Don't
You guys-
worry. Don't worry, Dr. Jen. I got the clock.
Wait. What's the name again?
Wait, what's the name? Eric Barnhart.
Eric
Eric
Barnhart.
Are you there, Eric?
Eric Barnhart.
Oh,
All right, we're on it.
Erica Peabody is
Eric
there. I
Barnhart.
think I said Eric Barnhart.
Eric Barnhart.
Erica Peabody.
Eric Barnhart. Eric Barnhart.
Barnhart.
It's over. It's
Oh,
gone.
oh,
Gone.
that's
Eric,
it.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
gone.
Yeah, it's
It's
gone.
gone.
Sorry, I'm way over. I'm like
You're way
36.
Way
I'm
over.
excited for music.
He got some extra time.
He did.
Man, we tried
Sorry,
And he
to
did-
Eric.
I know, Eric. We tried to show you
try to
out.
help him out. All right. You put the timer and the music. Let's get all
All
that.
right,
all
yeah,
queued
let's
up.
let's get that queued up before I start.
All right, get that timer started.
Who's up next? Who you got?
Yeah.
Our next winner, potential winner, Mitchell Hahn.
Mitchell.
Mitchell
Mitchell
Hahn.
Hahn.
Here we go.
Han.
You have to
Han.
press go. You gotta multitask. You know what? Ladies,
Mitchell.
somebody teach
Mitchell
James how to
Hahn.
press the button and say the name at the same time. Mitchell Hunt, let's go.
Where you at, Mitchell? Where you at?
If we go to my Mitch.
Oh, Mitch. Oh, that's mine. Ella was like, I got so excited.
Yeah, close.
Ella,
Hey.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
We have requests.
Oh,
What
man.
other impressions can you do there, James?
Other impressions. Definitely, Obama's definitely the best one that I can do, but I feel like I can do a couple others, but maybe people don't know who they are.
Like who?
like, give us one.
Like
Like
who?
Cat Williams, the comedian.
Oh yeah, everybody knows Cat Williams.
I don't know Cat Williams. The 50-50
Maybe.
split right now, so I don't know who's Cat Williams.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Cat Williams, he was like my favorite comedian in high school.
Yeah, you know Cat Williams.
No,
Come
I do
on.
not. Some people are saying, oh, some people know Cat.
Yes.
Yes, you do, Lacey.
Yeah. Yeah.
You probably do know
Chris
Cat
Collins,
Williams.
don't get on here and tell me who I know.
Let's
Like
do
you're Shawn?
let's do Cat. Let's do Cat Williams.
I don't know.
And I-
Do it. Maybe I'll know.
Get it going. Lead it into
All right.
into the
Give us
last
Cat.
name. Put the
Give us Cat.
timer.
Oh,
Let's see if we can get
Denzel
a
would be
winner.
so good. Can you do Denzel?
Oh man, I need to work on Denzel. I like when people imitate Denzel. I wish I can do him.
I know
Um,
Josh Matthews is saying Denzel. Josh and Lacey We're your closest mates. Want Denzel. So you gotta work on that. Just so you know.
All right.
We're gonna do Cat Williams.
Let me
Cat
see.
Williams.
Let me see if I can
Williams?
do Cat Williams.
You
All
can
right.
do it.
I don't know who this is. I need to look the person up.
Cat Williams. All right. Let's go. So tonight we are on Money Monday, and I have to.
Like zero. I'm like, I have no idea.
Oh, come on.
This-
Don't interrupt.
I didn't interrupt. He interrupted himself.
Oh my
He was
gosh!
laughing.
I did.
Okay, go.
I did.
I believe in you, Cat.
This is ridiculous because Shawn and Lacey are on Money Mondays giving away cash money. Now, what in the world do you have to do that you're not on Money Mondays? If you are watching football right now, I have to tell you, you are ridiculous. Anyway.
I love when James cracks himself up. Go, James.
And if I felt more comfortable cussing on here, I think that would definitely take it over the top.
Take it over the top, yeah?
All right.
Don't get my
All right.
video
Give us the
banned.
blast.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Name number 3. We got Carrie Swain. Carrie Swain.
All right.
No, Carrie.
Carrie.
Kari?
Carrie. Kari.
Wait, you gotta say it in the
K-A-R-I.
Cat Williams voice. Carrie.
Carrie Swain. Carrie Swain. Carrie, are you here, Carrie Swain?
Carrie. You know Carrie.
Oh, Carrie.
Yes.
Whoa, she's here.
Carrie. Oh my
Whoa.
God. Carrie, we said that right?
Whoa. She
Oh.
is here.
Hey.
That's a 300.
That is a
$300.
in a row. Listen, you know what? Even when things are being pressed in the economy, there is money all around. And Cat Williams gave out $300 to Carrie Swain. So congratulations, Carrie. We're so excited that you won. We'll be sending that money over tomorrow. Thank you, Barack/Cat/James, for an amazing evening. We had so much fun connecting with you all.
That was awesome. Thanks, James. Thank you, everybody.
Next week, $300.
Next week, another $300. We're going to be we're going to draw 3 names again. We're going to be looking for a lucky winner. Don't miss it. Make sure that you set an alarm. You want to get your notifications. We're going to be doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
All you have to do is show up.
Make sure
yourself
you
and
follow at Dr. Lacey Book if you want to follow along this week as we go to Las Vegas and film Office Hours. All right, everybody. Good night now.